Thought I'd do a bit of an on-chain update. I know I haven't done one for a while, but it's mainly because it's somewhat ineffectual when we have war going on, and at the moment markets are pretty much just reacting to war. So looking at some of the on-chain stuff, um, in fact, before we talk about this, I want to talk quickly about timeframes. Now, everyone has different timeframes. So whenever I say short term, medium, and long, this is basically how I see things. Obviously, if you speak to someone like Warren Buffett, short term is, 1 to 10 years for him, but everyone has different styles. So in my or the way I play with the markets, short term for me is anything up to 1 month, which is why I'm a big fan of technical analysis, because many times TA, the charts can show you stuff that's going to happen, which, sometimes, quite often, is opposite to what the fundamentals and on-chain is saying. Medium term, this is where on-chain is really quite sort of quite, I guess, effective. So anything between 1 to 12 months. And sometimes you can combine that with technical analysis. And then anything sort of long term, that's when the fundamentals or the fundamentals really come true. But obviously, if some and for a long time, for at least the last, I guess 3 or 4 months, I've been extremely bullish, medium to long term, because the on-chain and fundamentals are very bullish. But I've been very bearish short term because the charts don't lie. There's that great saying, show me the charts, I'll show you the news. And this is why I've been in cash pretty much for the last couple of months now, and it's been absolutely beautiful seeing all of the markets crash. So when we finally get back in, somewhere around the lows, hopefully, I'll have way more tokens with the same amount of money. So let's have a quick look at. Obviously, if you're an RT student, you know all this anyway. So I'm just going to quickly run through some of the things over here. Obviously, there are thousands and thousands of different indicators or on-chain charts. Um, but having a look at the non-zero addresses, it's still churning up. Again, network effect is still strong with Bitcoin and Ether. So that's really a long-term thing, and that's a network effect is really the main value of crypto. There's still roughly 400,000 new users per day or new addresses per day for Bitcoin. Um, Somewhat falling at the moment with Ethos because everyone's staking it, which I think is batshit crazy staking ETH because you can't get out until ETH 2.0 comes out, and we we really don't know when that's going to happen. And also the yield is pretty pants. Um, but this is interesting. So I look at this chart a lot, the exchange net position. So if we zoom in quite recently, we'll see we've suddenly had a bit of an uptick. Um, so every single day we've had roughly almost between 20 to 30,000 Bitcoin flowing out of exchanges into wallets. And over the last 2 days, that's somewhat shifted. So yesterday we had roughly only 7,000 going off exchange. But, sorry, 3 days ago. But then 2 days ago, we had 12,000 coming back to exchanges. And then yesterday, um, or 27th, yeah, yesterday, and about 7,500. So the reason this is important is because if this starts ticking back into the green, this is basically showing that people are sending Bitcoin back to exchanges so they can get ready to dump. And look what's happening with Ether. We've got a massive inflow of Ether back to exchanges. So people only do that when they're going to dump. So it's going to be quite interesting um, with that particular one. Let's look at activity, hash rate. Yeah, it's dropped a little bit, obviously. Whether it will break through, I mean, if it starts going down here, we're going to start seeing prices drop. But yeah, uh, at the moment, it's still pretty strong. Um, Yeah, leverage is somewhat dropping. I don't put much weight to this at the moment. A lot of people using leverage got absolutely rinsed over the last couple of months. So a lot of these levered participants are always, out of the game. But the fact that this is starting to dive to the negative means that there are still people there shorting crypto. Let's skip that one. Let's go to top bottom alerts quickly. And no, there's nothing really here. No, nothing there. Let's quickly look at on-chain. So the Mayor multiple is one of my favorites. We're getting towards a buy opportunity at the moment. But yeah, the market isn't that stretched, so I do believe we've got a bit more falling before we start seeing a good buy signal there. And don't forget, with on-chain, you will always see contradicting charts. But yeah, a lot of the other stuff is somewhat still in the limbo zone. Again, this video is not one to go through how each one works. But this one's quite interesting. So I like to sort of simplify a lot of this, and I take out a lot of the the other metrics. But if you this is basically measuring Metcalfe's law. So network effect basically. And so when you look at the transaction transfer count multiple along with the active addresses multiple, it does give you some sort of a top bottom sort of indicator. So whenever you see these two levels get into the red zone, it nearly always coincides nice selling signal. So here, right in the red, strong sell, market dipped. Strong sell, market dipped. Strong sell, market dipped. Well, it has dipped, went from 60 to 30. But right now, it's still way off the charts in terms of this. So there's still, I think, a bit further to fall. So that's that one. But then on the flip side, you can these two things sort of show the opposite. So the I call it the smart and dumb money. This is actually really bullish. So typically, when you have a nice difference between smart money and dumb money, that's pretty good. So yeah, we've had a divergence here. It's when you have a convergence of that's when you start seeing shit really hitting the fan, and we haven't seen that yet. Um, so yeah, this is one of the this is a rather bullish metric because we're pretty much at all-time lows in the amount of dumb money in Bitcoin at the moment, and all-time highs with the amount of smart money. And when you look at the hodl waves, this is done via percentage of the active supply. You'll see a key thing here. So when we add in sort of this lot, yeah, over. Yeah, sort of. So I guess when you look at the somewhat short term holders, so everything from a year lower, you can see everyone's been selling off like big time, which is, as you can see here, the dumb money selling off towards the highs. But then when you add in the sort of the smarter money, you can see that there isn't somewhat of a sell-off. So the smarter money, so basically wallets from 1 year upwards, they've remained flat, if not gone up a bit. Some of these are ticking up. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Right. Yeah. So overall, it's yeah. I, I think it's we don't really need to look at on-chain at the moment because everything's just bouncing around with what war's doing. So we've got the volatility index. Obviously, whenever the VIX shoots up, stocks shit themselves. Um, and we're yeah, it's and really yeah. I don't trading your expectancy. So if you have a trading system or systems, your expectancy somewhat goes out of the window when you enter sort of a war situation. So you have to have separate trading strategies for war scenarios. Um, and so, for example, if you like, I have nothing to do with disclose.tv, but I find it quite good. Um, I always look at media from both sides of the story. I look, CNN, BBC, but also the far right, But I think Disclosed TV is quite neutral because all it's doing is sharing just, as and stuff comes. Um, Russia closes airspace for airlines from 36 countries. Oh dear. Um, yeah, okay. So it's interesting what's going on. But I do see further falling when it comes to crypto. I'm not going to talk about stocks here, and the dollar gapped up big time today, but it's yeah, I still see further falling. Um, One other thing that I wanted to talk about is that when we're looking, where's the little thingy gone? I've lost the hmm. Can't delete all the drawings. 1 second. Just do it the manual way then. Let's go to log chart on a weekly. Don't know where the little thing's gone. I can't draw anything. However, look at this. So on the weekly chart or logarithmic weekly chart, you'll see that the market is just doing its thing. You're like, technically, when you're looking at this, Bitcoin has never had a proper bear market. All that's happened is that Bitcoin has always just pulled back to its base support level on the weekly logarithmic chart. And you can see it's just caterpillaring up this exponential growth curve, which on the log chart is bottom left to top right. And we've only really breached it once, which was, quickly recovered. And so, as I've said for a while now, pulling back to this support level, this base support is to be expected. And if I could draw something, I don't know why I can't draw anything at the moment. Um, pulling back to this level, another touch of sort of 30k, yeah, 30k ish wouldn't go amiss. Um, but it's yeah, I think we could see some proper capitulation or proper falling with Bitcoin when we hit sort of around 100k level, 150k level. So yeah, other than that, I think that's it for now. As I said, most fundamentals on chain sort of go out the window when there's times of war and stuff. And I think we've got a bit more falling to come. I'm just going to try and. This has never happened before. Me losing my little bar of thingies. Hopefully, someone can tell me where I've gone wrong here. Um, but yeah, I will chat with you soon. Just one last second. Have I missed anything? Weekly chart, daily. Yeah. So again, got a whole bunch of little white holes across a bunch of charts, and yeah. Before we go, don't forget to book in your ticket for the cuddle on March the 12th. We only have room for 360 people in this, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a zero selling event. Don't worry. Um, and it won't be, it will not be a profitable event for the realistic trader. We literally just do this to break even, and we're spending about 30 grand holding this event. 20 grand of that is for the party. Um, yeah, so basically it's from 10 a.m. until about 6 p.m. And that during the day, there's all sorts of learning, uh, basically all about crypto. And we have some guest speakers, etc. Teas, coffees, refreshments during the day, hot lunch, hot dinner, and then from 7 p.m. Onwards, it's an awesome party. We have DJ, surf simulator, sumo suits, yeah, all sorts of other bits and bobs. So yeah, Nottingham, 12th of March. It's only 250 quid. Um, and yeah, definitely grab your ticket. You do not want to miss it. It's pretty awesome. Right, toodles.